Oh, let me just try to finish this little update. It's late in the sense, like almost 5 o'clock, and I prefer to upload, which I will, along with this, my regular kind of routine you see us developing. And today I'll cover this incident that you saw about the vehicle, and then I'll just maybe do a real brief update. Yesterday, which was not really a big thing, but I was hanging out with George and a couple of the homeless guys, and there's like a spot close to where you saw me make the video earlier, and the CCPD had put up a no trespassing sign. It's owned by a Mexican restaurant, the area where George will set a lot. And the owner of the Mexican restaurant kind of lets George stay there because George helps clean up a little bit, and so it's kind of like a working thing. But you do have a sign that says no trespassing, and it's right on the concrete, and that's fine. I normally don't like staying long in those spots simply because when my friends panhandle, like, hey, do you have $1? Hey, they know I don't like that. And when they start doing that, and they all do not do it, but when they do it, I said, look, I'm not staying, because I don't like that. And I understand that there might be people, with their family going into restaurants and all, and I don't like being around when they do that, so I leave. But anyway, a lady officer pulled up, and a few of my friends were like, oh, cops are coming. And so she did ask, well, I'm going to need to see your ID. I said, sure. But I took off. And, after she was done with me, no big deal, okay? So today, I saw George in sort of the same area, but it's a little different spot, maybe about 100 yards away, also in the same property of that Mexican restaurant in Flower Bluff called El Gallo, and he also sits there. He knows all the people who own that restaurant, and he often says, senorita, and and they say hi back, and they even bring him tacos, free help. So it really is like a working relationship with the owners of that Mexican place. But then, when I stopped today, I wasn't going to stay long, and I wanted to give a cigarette out and give my $1 away, which I did. And like I said, I'm uncomfortable, like in that scenario, when they're by areas where they're going to panhandle. So that vehicle you saw in my video, he had pulled up, but he parked illegally facing the wrong way, because he was parked, on the side where your vehicle's supposed to face the other way. So he just pulled off the highway in that vehicle and just sat there and started, like, whether he was pretending he was videotaping or whatever he was doing, he was kind of sitting maybe about 20 yards from us, looking at us. Now look, I was going to leave anyway, because I'm uncomfortable in that scenario there with those guys asking. But when I got up to leave, I went to my car, which was in the same parking lot, and, I was going to do my ride. So as I passed him up, he looked at me like, I got my eyes on you. And that just kind of set me off. And I left, though. I went on the little turnaround. I said, let me go back. And just as I turned around in the parking lot, came back in my vehicle, I parked about 1.5 inches away from his bumper. Then it looked like he probably panicked. Of course, he was illegally parked, but he had the mindset of maybe somebody, now I know people like this, and they're like, we're going to go and patrol or police the homeless or whatever it is. Oftentimes they act like tough guys. And then I didn't want to curse, and I'm not going to, but I had a few choice words to describe those types of people. Now, I don't want to get this wrong, but as I looked, I got a view of him, and then, as you saw in the video, he kept running away. There's a local radio host, and I just have seen a few pictures of him, and he lives where I live, I believe, in the same neighborhood. And I used to hear him on the radio speak frequently about, I see a homeless guy, or he acts like he's a tough guy, and he might have in the past been in an oil field or whatever, I hear him every now and then. It might have been him. Now, I won't give the name because I'm not sure. But remembering some of the pictures of him. But whether it was him or not, it's that same fake bravado that some people have when they talk about the crime situation or all these people on the streets and all the problems, and I'll stop them if I ever see them. And I heard this particular radio host say that over the years, and it looked a little like him from the little glimpse. Now, if it was or not, it was the same type of an incident where somebody was like, I'll show these guys. And I don't like it when people come up to me, and they pulled up to us first. So when I came all the way back around, I parked maybe 2 inches from his bumper, and he panicked. I didn't threaten him. And then he started the little thing. There's problems we have, obviously, with homelessness. And there's problems we have. There was another news thing that just upset me. And there's the DA out of Clayburgh County. He might have been a relative of a fire captain by the name of George Hubert, who I worked for. Sadly, George retired and died. But the DA's name is John Hubert. That's Clayburgh County, where I retired out of. Okay? The Hubert family, whether he was directly related, there was a German heritage that settled in that area of Clayburgh, and you go down to an area called Wachman, and either way. And then DA, top news, he might bring charges against a pet rescue service, meaning like go after them, a pet rescue. And I had to look at it because my daughter does a pet rescue. It's not hers. But what happened was there was a local guy, retired law enforcement, and his dog that he had, I guess, worked with him when he was in law enforcement, got loose and got picked up by the dog pound. Said the dog ran away, he got afraid of the fireworks, went to the dog pound. After 3 days, by law, if you leave them after 3 days, I'm not sure what kind of dog pound it is, and I'm not sure how quickly they kill them. But this pet rescue out of Minnesota just rescued the dogs. They do good job, they do good work, and they figure if the owner was irresponsible, whoever it is, not knowing who the owner is, well, now this guy wants his dog back. I understand that. But for the DA to say, we're looking into legal action, maybe against like kids or family, Mr. Hubert is looking into legal action against a pet rescue. We might take legal action all the way up to Minnesota. You got so much shit in South Texas going on with the DA in this city, Corpus Christi. You got all the damn murders and killings and every other damn thing going on, and you have these DAs talking about possibly bringing legal action against some pet rescue in Minnesota. These guys are a disgrace. They were a professional disgrace to the jobs that the communities have elected them to. Because when I read the article, he said, if you don't have clear title to like a vehicle or whatever, I understand he felt maybe he'd do a favor for his friend that was in law enforcement that would like to have his dog back. I understand that. But when you hit the airwaves with top news, which it was, will go into Minnesota, possibly arrest a bunch of kids that have a pet rescue, you're a disgrace to your job is what you are. All of you that are crossing the lines like that, whether Gonzales crossed the line if he said FTP, or whether that your positions are not to intimidate kids, whether they're pet rescue or whatever. And you show yourselves as a backwater South Texas community that does not know what the fuck they're doing. That's what you have here in South Texas. Now, if you want to try to do your jobs, if it's possible that you can do your jobs, You had unsolved murders, unsolved killings. Now today in the news, you had an officer that's been arrested. I didn't comment much on it. It happened a few months ago, Tommy Cabello. The media has given different dates for how long he was with CCPD. Some said 20-year veteran, others said 14 years. They go back. Either way, he kind of had a history of domestic violence, and he was arrested again. Tommy Cabello, I think he's out of Robstown. So, he's on administrative leave. Well, today, Thursday, it said he's kind of like the DA put some new charges or up the charges. You got to go. This is the problem I have. Now, I would, of course, Tommy Cabello, like any other person, it should be a fair looking at. But now you have the DA and a personal, Mark Gonzales, not Hubert, and a personal kind of like argument going on with the cops. And the last thing you want is for any of that to spill over into who you're charging. I thought of that when this first came out. Like, it's not good. I'm sure that officer, Tommy Cabello, is not happy that the DA and the cops, some of them seem to have a very strong disagreement. And then the same day, which was today, they kind of said like his charges were enhanced, or they made more stick on him, which was continuous domestic violence, tampering with witness, tampering with evidence. The problem we have in general here in South Texas and Corpus Christi, it's backwater. Meaning, if they want to have a city or a region or an area that's kind of like living up to standards and looking progressive and all these things, you simply don't have people who are running the show. Most of them are not up to the task. Okay? There's a lot of critics of Mr. Trump. I'm not a big supporter of Trump. But many of the critics would say, can't people see he's not up to the job? Now that's a whole debate between conservatives and liberals. But some of those same liberals who say that out of our community, they cannot see what a disgrace is being done here. I think if it's true that Mark Gonzales meant F the police, I think that's grounds for him to resign, to step down. I don't think it's something for him to say, I'm going to run again. I think it's, and I'm not a big defender of the cops, but if you said that, and if that was the meaning you meant, I think a person like that should resign from his position. I'll give you one sad thing and I'll end it. I wanted to clarify what happened with that incident. That's why the camera shut off, as the person who acted like, hello, look at this, it's my... I see Ray walking, a friend of mine, and this puppy, this is Bella. She came up to me all by herself. She jumped on me, I didn't know who it was. Bella is my friend JW and Shannon. They have two dogs. One is Peanut, and the other is Bella. Sometimes they kind of are in this area. I guess she come up to me. Hey, I'm doing a video. Sure, but this is my friend Ray. There's Peanut. I'm doing a video. I'm like news and stuff, and then I feel a little dog. Bella, come here, baby. She knows me. That's Peanut right there. That's Bella. Come on, come here. I'm gonna have to see. That's JW and Shannon's dog. That's Ray. It's my friend Ray. That's the mama dog. Her name is Peanut. All right, so I'll end it. I was doing a news update. This is my friend Ray. Come on, Peanut. Come on, baby. Hello, Bella. She recognized me. She jumped up behind me. All right. These are the two cute dogs. I'm not sure where these people live. Friends of mine, JW and Shannon, and I'm not sure if they must have spotted me doing a video. They both know me. I used to watch that one Bella when she was a newborn, like a week old. She'd sit with me at Timmons. Okay, we'll end it with that, all right? I think I did enough news update. You get to see my friend Ray, and I'll end it with that. God bless everybody.